Okay, hello there. So I would like to review this chapter. We're going to start with a review of chapter 5, working with clauses. And the first question that we're going to ask ourselves is, what are the two types of clauses that we are looking at? So the first thing that we are going to look at, we will be looking at the conjunctions to indicate whether it is a coordinating conjunction or a subordinating conjunction. Okay, so for clauses, the first thing that I know is there are two kinds of clauses. So, sorry about that. Clauses. So I have two kinds of clauses. Okay, that I'm going to be looking at specifically. So the first kind of clauses that I'm going to look at is called independent. I'm sorry if I'm not writing that beautifully due to this tripod that I'm using for my phone camera. Unfortunately, it's a little bit difficult. There's something in my way, so it's a little bit difficult to write, but we'll try our best. Okay, so independent, and then of course I have dependent clauses, also dependent clauses. Okay, and this is your concept map. Remember, for every chapter we are making a concept map, which is a summary of the day's lecture. It is a summary of the whole class and I would like you guys to always try to do this, always reflect about the things that you learn about. Okay, now first things first, what is a independent? I'm going to start with independent. What is an independent clause? Now, if I look at the word independent, the word independent means can stand alone. Okay, so this one can stand alone. Okay, and it turns out that my camera doesn't really catch that color. Let me lift up the page a little bit. Can stand alone. Oh, this is a terrible color to write in. I am so sorry, guys. Let me change the color. I guess black it is. Okay. So black it will be. Can. Oh my goodness. I'm trying so hard to make it colorful, to make it beautiful, and then this happens. Look at that. Can stand alone. Okay, so that's the first thing. This is something that can stand alone. Now, when I talk about stand alone, this is going to resemble a full sentence. It looks like a full sentence, okay? So, what are the things that I need? Well, let's start with the basic sentences. The first thing that I know is that for every sentence there must be a subject and there must be a main verb, a predicate, right? So those are the first two things that I have in a subject and a predicate. I must have those two things. If I don't have them, this is not a full sentence. Okay, so we are not going to be looking at all the parts of speech. We've done that in chapter 2. We've reviewed that and we're going to do them again in chapter 7. We're going to practice the parts of speech again. But for now, we are just going to look at this. What is the subject and what is the predicate? Now, the predicate starts with the main verb. Okay, the main verb. That's what I'm going to be looking for. What is my main verb? Okay. So, for the independent clause, I'm going to hold my camera like this so that I can write easily. Okay, let me hold it. Oh, no, that does not work well. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I wish COVID was finished so we can just go back to class already. My goodness. Okay, so here we have our independent clause, we said for every independent clause, I'm going to look for the subject and the predicate. If I have that, wow, okay. So what's going to happen after that? What will happen after that? I am going to end up with a coordinating. So the first thing, we have a co. Co means together. Whenever you see the word co in English, it always has that feeling of being together, right? For example, we talked about this in the class when we did this lesson the first time. We said co-ed schools. For example, a school where the boys and the girls are together. That's a co-ed school. So whenever I see the word co means together. Together. Okay. So coordinating. And I know that when we write it as coordinating. Okay, coordinating. Now there are two pronunciations, and as always, if you choose the British pronunciation, great. If you use the American pronunciation, great. It is really up to you. Okay, that's not the big issue here. Okay, so let's continue then. Coordinating or coordinating conjunctions. Okay, so now that I know what an independent clause is something that has a subject and a predicate, and this, I will need another color. Oh, I should not use that one because the camera doesn't pick it up. Let's use the dark green. The dark green is quite beautiful. I've used it a few times before. And we're going to say here, use a coordinating conjunction. A coordinating conjunction. Now for the coordinating conjunctions, you will have heard this one. Fanboys. For and nor, but, or, yet, so. Okay, fanboys. Now, you can memorize them by all means. Go ahead and memorize them. But I think it is better if you understand what does a coordinating conjunction do. Because remember, we are not just looking at words and then asking ourselves, oh, this word, what is this? No, what we are looking at is we are looking at the very important word. A very, very important word. We are looking at the function. The function of the word. Okay, so you can memorize these words: for and nor, but, or, yet, so, fanboys. You can memorize them, but you are going to see that something like and can be coordinating, or on this side it's going to be subordinate. And it can be either one or two. So this is going to be much better for you to rather understand what is it that a coordinating conjunction does in a sentence, rather than just look at it and go like, hey, this is this or this is that. Okay, so it's a better way to understand the function. Function. Again, function. Again, function. That is the one word that I really would love you guys to always remember. It is about the function. Okay, so for the coordinating conjunctions, typically I'm going to have my sentence 1, and there's going to be subject 1, predicate 1, then a coordinating conjunction, and then what I'm going to have is subject 2 and predicate number 2. Okay, there you can see. Okay, and ta-da! We are finished with this side. So let's quickly run through it one more time. Ignore that side. We're going to do that now. So we have two kinds of clauses. Let's look at independent clauses. Independent clauses look like a full sentence. It can stand alone. It has a subject and a predicate, and it uses a coordinating or coordinating conjunction. And we can remember fanboys. Fanboys stands for, let's write it down, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Okay. So when we look at it, we're going to have our sentence. This is going to be, where's my green pen? Sentence is going to consist of subject, the first subject and the predicate, plus the coordinating conjunction, plus a second subject and a second predicate. Subjects can be the same, subjects can be different. Your job is to identify them. Okay, right, here we go. Let's have a look on this side. Okay, for the dependent meaning dependent means I need someone else to help me. Okay, that's what the word dependent means. So you guys will remember that in the class I used the example of you as a teenager, right? As a teenager, you are a dependent. You are not independent yet. Why do I say that? Well, you kind of need your parents, right? You need somebody, a caregiver, can be your mother, your father, or if you live like me, I used to live with my grandparents. They are the people that I am dependent on. So the word dependent means I cannot take care of myself. On this side, we had independent. They can stand alone. They can do things by themselves. It's a full sentence. This side, dependent, cannot. Okay, so for the dependent, we are going to use something that is called a subordinate conjunction. So this one is going to use a subordinate